Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Marvel released a bunch of new previews for the Fantastic Four. CinemaCon was this week, so they showed off a special trailer. They didn't release it online, but we'll break it down. There were a bunch of first looks at Silver Surfer, what's going on with her during the movie, Franklin Richards, and what's going on with Galactus just in general, so we'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, of course I'll be doing all the videos for the movie. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. And because this movie is meant to tie in to Avengers Doomsday, Kevin Feige literally Zoom called in from the set of that movie while they're filming to talk about Chairwatch and how that's going to be happening again later this year. Not them literally making us sit around all day to watch more chairs, but them announcing more actors for Avengers Doomsday. There was also a bunch of Thunderbolts footage they brought to CinemaCon, so I'll try to do a video for that stuff too at some point. But the real big new stuff that we hadn't seen before was all the Fantastic Four related stuff. There are a couple pictures with the Fantastic Four in their spacesuits preparing for a mission. They're astronauts in the context of the movie before they get their powers. For people asking what they're cooking here, what Johnny Storm is messing with these 4 different containers here, it's meant to look just like the Apollo 11 astronauts. This level of technology is just part of their life support systems that they take into space. The way that Matt Shakman explained their characters is that there are no other superheroes on the Earth of their universe, like they are it, and before they get their powers, they're already famous as NASA-type astronauts, which explains how they already have the Fantastic Four building, sort of like their version of an Avengers tower in their universe. They're already like celebrity scientists, explorers, adventurers. Then they go on this particular mission to space. They get their superpowers after being caught in the cosmic storm, which makes them even more crazier levels of popular, Beatles level popular. Like this scene during the previous trailers with them on the stand here is based on a Beatles performance on Ed Sullivan in real life 1960s. So there are a couple aspects of the movie that they sort of baked in Hard Day's Night vibes to it. If you never saw Hard Day's Night, it was a movie about the Beatles that they made during the 1960s, during the height of their popularity. That's kind of the vibe of their characters just in general on this Earth. Then all of a sudden Galactus and Silver Surfer show up and shit gets real. The brand new CinemaCon footage opened with them going on a talk show and then talking about their powers, how they got their abilities. Then there's a scene of them having their family dinner, which we've seen them tease, like we're here, 7 on the dot, no matter what. The whole idea is that Reed Richards and Sue Storm are suddenly late to dinner in this particular instance, but they make up for it by revealing that Sue Storm is pregnant with Franklin Richards. This is also meant to be part of the scene where you see Ben Grimm working with Herbie to try and make the dish even better, like he's acting like a cook, trying to make things even better.
Okay, is this guy good or what?
Johnny Storm, her younger brother, congratulates them on the baby, saying that Sue's going to make a great mother, but Reed has some work to do. Like, you're not a great dad right now. Maybe you eventually get better. It kind of sounds like we won't get the traditional origin story, and we'll just learn about it through them explaining it and some footage of it in retrospect on monitors, like we see Ben Grimm watching himself when he still used to be in human form. There's a couple scenes later in the trailer that actually look like it's Sue giving birth to Franklin Richards because you see her power fritzing out and disappearing while Reed is trying to hold her. But I think the idea is that at some point she is meant to actually give birth to Franklin Richards during the movie itself, and he is part of the reason why Galactus has come to Earth. Then they move to a new scene where it seems like everything's been going well, like everybody's happy, and all of a sudden Silver Surfer, played by Julia Garner from Ozark, shows up. This is what it looks like. Comes to Earth and warns the Fantastic Four that their world has been marked for imminent destruction. The coming of Galactus, basically, from the comics. The whole story they're adapting from the comics is the very first Galactus trilogy that Stan Lee and Jack Kirby did, called The Coming of Galactus. Then they jump to the scene of the shadow of Galactus looming over New York City, and the Silver Surfer telling the heroes that they're in a race against time to save Earth from destruction. A civilian asks Reed Richards, are they going to be okay? Like, will regular people be okay because Galactus is so huge? Reed Richards answers them saying, I don't know. We see him consumed by his research, burdened by their heroic responsibilities to save this world. And remember, they're on their own because there are no other superheroes to help them. Then there's a scene of Sue Storm and Reed Richards making a promise for the future of their child, Franklin Richards, and we're shown Reed giving a speech telling the public that the Fantastic Four will protect them, like we will save this Earth from this threat. Then the trailer ends with a shot of Silver Surfer riding on the surfboard away from the burning flames of an explosion. Seems like it's happening after this scene here where Galactus actually does show up on Earth. So they're sort of breaking up the Silver Surfer scenes in the Galactus scenes where they happen in the actual movie. But part of the idea of the movie, because remember, they're meant to be main characters during Avengers Doomsday, that's why they revealed all the characters are coming back. They're meant to start this in another universe. This whole Earth, this place where Galactus shows up to destroy the world, consume the world, is meant to be in an alternate universe. So at some point, they had to make it to the MCU. So I think part of the idea is that we're actually going to watch what happens when Galactus does wind up destroying a world, consuming a world, and they are unsuccessful in saving theirs.
For that, I will destroy their planet.
They're probably going to use this as motivation for them in Avengers Doomsday and why they want to work so hard to save the MCU Earth, because they weren't able to save theirs and they failed on their promise to all the regular citizens to save them. So it's probably a situation where they're like, we failed our world, we're not going to fail yours. Also because the MCU is their new home. At the end of the movie, they wind up escaping the destruction of the Earth by using Reed Richards' multiverse bridge that he's got on his chalkboard here. He's been studying multiverse portals. This is probably taken a little bit from the Jonathan Hickman run. And at the end of the movie, as the world's being destroyed, they basically just hop to the MCU, which explains how they wind up in Avengers Doomsday. There's been no talk about Silver Surfer coming to the MCU. I think that this version of Silver Surfer, played by Julia Garner, is meant to be destroyed in this universe or stays in this universe. And at least the way that everybody's been talking about this version of Galactus in the MCU movies is that it'll be a multiverse being, meaning there'll only be one version of Galactus for every single universe. In the comics, there's a version of Galactus in every single universe. Supposedly, at the end of the movie, or maybe in the post-credits scene, the big reveal will be Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. He's supposed to appear for the first time during the Fantastic Four movie. We don't know if that's going to be the very end of the film or in the actual post-credit scene itself. But it kind of implies his Doctor Doom is the main Doctor Doom of this Fantastic Four universe. Supposedly, Chris Evans' alternate version of Steve Rogers that he's returning as for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars is also supposed to appear in that post-credit scene. That might be the big post-credit scene reveal where you see Doctor Doom slowly putting his team together to take care of the incursions and wind up ultimately destroying the MCU. The way that Kevin Feige talked about Avengers Doomsday, because at the CinemaCon panel, he was actually Zoom calling into the panel from the set of Avengers Doomsday as they get ready to start filming. He basically said that Avengers Doomsday is the MCU heroes, the new Avengers team that winds up forming, the Thunderbolts, who are also there, the original X-Men, and the Fantastic Four, the newer Fantastic Four team, all working together to fight against Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. But I think part of the idea is that all the different teams are slowly battling against each other before they start working together, realizing that they are in common cause against Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. Because the way they've been pitching his Doctor Doom is that he shows up pretending to be the Tony Stark of their universe because he looks just like him, and he uses that to his advantage. Kevin Feige didn't completely explain why he's coming to the MCU, like what particularly he's going to do to try and further his plan to save the multiverse, if it means the destruction of the MCU, but in the Time Runs Out comic book, they kind of imply that some of the universes he destroys in order to save some of the other universes. Ultimately, though, he's unsuccessful and they wind up learning about the Beyonders. I don't think they're going to be using the Beyonders during this live-action MCU version of events, though. But in the comics, that is how he gains the power of the Beyonders to become God Emperor Doom, and then combines the fragments of the remaining universes into the single battle world, saving as many people as he possibly can from different universes, but also sort of using it as a soft reset, changing everyone's memories, so everybody that does survive to Battleworld or the Void, or however they visualize it during the movie MCU version of this, everybody wakes up on that world thinking that things have always been that way. They don't remember their original universes. Then it sounds like the movie version will play out a little bit more like the Jonathan Hickman more recent 2010s Secret Wars, where they all battle against God Emperor Doom to eventually restore the multiverse so they can go back to their original universes. Kevin Feige also did confirm that the chairs that they did reveal, the Chair Watch, was not the only cast for Avengers Doomsday. They only revealed part of the cast. What Marvel will probably do, though, because I don't think they want to replicate the chair watch, like it won't be exactly like that, there'll be some other reveals piecemeal later this year where you learn about a couple more characters at any given time, because they're basically going to be filming Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars back-to-back with like a couple weeks break between them. So pretty much for the rest of this year, at any given time, you'll hear about them filming new scenes, like there's already been scenes from them filming Avengers Doomsday that have been posted online. For the most part, I'm expecting all the original Avengers to come back as different variants of their characters, the ones who died or the ones who retired. Chris Evans, a good example of that. He didn't die, like Old Man Cap is still around in the MCU, but the way that Chris Evans is probably coming back is this multiverse variant that's on Doctor Doom's team.
Cap was the first character to ever be on screen for Marvel.
That is a flat-out lie.
Ever.
Scarlett Johansson sounds like she's locking down a deal to come back as another version of Natasha from another universe. Really good example of this, too, is Halle Berry's Storm. She keeps saying that she's not in the movie, but the way that she looks makes it sound like she's definitely in the movie and just hasn't locked down her deal. Like they haven't figured out exactly how much they're going to pay her yet. So for a lot of characters that you didn't hear about in the first chair watch, that's basically what's going on. I'm working on a bigger video for the X-Men just in general. I'll try to post that this weekend. But because it is CinemaCon, there was a whole bunch of other trailer footage, like we got all the Superman footage that they posted online. I've already done a video for that, so I'll link it at the end of this. They also revealed they're going to be dropping the brand new Tron Ares trailer Saturday morning too, so of course I'll do a video for that, completely unrelated to Marvel stuff. If you're a big fan of Tron, they're doing a lot more Tron stuff. We'll see if it works this time better. They tried to bring Tron back a long time ago, it just did not stick. People just were not down for it at the time. Jared Leto supposedly playing the antagonist of the movie, the titular Ares, so you make all the Morbius Morbin time jokes that you want. We will see what other footage leaks out from CinemaCon. There was a bunch of stuff that they showed off, but they didn't put everything online. When they do wind up releasing that, of course I'll do a brand new video, because it'll probably be a little bit different from the one they dropped at CinemaCon. Everybody click here for that brand new Superman CinemaCon trailer, and click here for that Spider-Man 4 brand new day video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.